Well, howdy. As you may or may not recall, at the time this video was posted, a day or two ago, I posted a video announcing a new series. This is the first episode of said new series. For everyone else, most of us either watching this later or who never saw that video, welcome. This is what for the time will tentatively be called 1.12 Survival Take 2. After a disastrous prior attempt. And of course, Minecraft decided to glitch up the moment I tried to break something. I have no idea what happened. Regardless. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be trying to set up a home. Which, due to the fact that Minecraft Ds are super short, I think this one... No, it's not already ending, it just looked like it from the England. And whenever you have mods, Minecraft likes to spawn a lot more mobs on you for some reason. But I'll try it. The reason I'm not crafting a sword yet is that hopefully by the time I'll need one, I'll have gotten stone and be able to craft a stone sword. Horsetail. I know a decent bit about animals. I know nothing about plants, so I have no idea whether horsetail is edible or not. I'm going to presume it's useful for at least something. Chamomiles. Prior recording, I set the time to 0 and make sure that I had the most amount of time possible. First off, picking an olive sapling right here. Second off, since I have 2, I can actually start an orchard. Try to do that whenever and since I can start an orchard now, just gonna break the rest of the leaves in the center. A lot of people have the complex that if you break leaves, there's a higher chance of them dropping something. I have the exact opposite. I have a complex that if I break leaves, there's a lower chance of them dropping something. From what I can tell, neither of these are true, but it doesn't stop me from having that complex. Okay, so I've wandered really far off. But if nothing else, I can get some stone. Oh. Do one of the mods, Quark, chickens can shed feathers. That's going to be really useful for getting arrows. First off, I'm going to craft a stone sword. I stated earlier, I knew that by the time I would ever need a sword, I'd be able to get a stone sword. In the furnace. And then the stone pickaxe. I tend to use the lowest grade pickaxe I can for any particular material to save the durability of the higher level pickaxes. Also, something I find very ironic is that Vein will actually be useful in Minecraft 1.13 and up, but the only modeler for 1.13 is Rift, which I do not believe has a Vein equivalent. And 1.14, as far as I know, has no modeler at all whatsoever, though to be fair, it is still in snapshot stages, so that's a given. The reason is that in those versions of Minecraft, andesite, granite, and diorite are their own materials. Oh, there's a beehive. I'm gonna avoid that for now. But because they're their own materials, you can set Vein to target them. Technically, if you use the Et Futura mod, you can do this in 1.7.10 as well. But you have to specifically use that mod for those materials to be obtainable in the first place. So the problem with them with their veins taking forever to mine is a non-issue in the first place. If you break these, you get the block and oh, you can right-click new theories. So that's all I use. So I'm gonna start building roughly here in this clearing. Yeah, it'd be best to get some wool. I always attack first with an axe because of the fact that I don't chop wool that often. That for some reason it's inconvenient. And the axe does higher damage at a slower rate. Now the thing is that with this version of Minecraft you have to get all the same color of wool. And since you need iron to get shears, and you don't get iron for a while, it depends on your luck really, but normally you don't get iron for a while. It's really hard to get shears in the early games, so you have to kill the first 3 sheep just to get your initial bed. Unless you are really good at fighting. Which I am not. So back off into the clearing and get. This one is here. And this'll. I can already. I don't know if it's just me, but I can already hear the distinctive bone tinkling sounds of a skeleton, and I'm out of wood. Great. I'm not sure if that clearing is past to the same clearing I wanted. By the way, it would be best to do this. See what else I can get crafted in the time being. Got chili pepper seeds actually, which and chili peppers are usable food, and they're better than wheat. We don't have a lot of wood. So I'm gonna have to wait out the night. So all of it seems will give you hunger. So like rotten meat, they're best used for desperation, particularly olives, since they seem to be less useful. Okay, so horse teal is not usable for crafting. I turned off Quark's auto unlock recipes thing. So I can't really make anything right now. I could gather stone and get help inside, but other than that I can't really make anything. I'm not sure how bright this will be on YouTube, but for me it's nearly pitch black. I need to gather some stones. When the time comes to actually make something. Make something decent. One thing you'll notice is I did leave a bonus chest, but deliberately avoided using it. That's because of the fact that I didn't want to use it in this episode. I wanted to see it for later. The only thing I'll probably be using is the torches that come with the chest, since I'll get those faster than I can get significant amounts of coal. As of now, it just seems like I'm going to have to be waiting out and periodically checking, so I'll do that off camera. Okay, it's daytime. I would have gotten more stone while I was in there, but I was afraid of creating too large a gap and encouraging mobs to spawn. I'm not sure if the clearing I passed by was the same clearing, but either way I needed to get somewhere just for the night. Now I can actually start seriously working on a home. I have another day, but now I have not enough wood, but enough wool to make a bed. And I have some tools. When I actually noticed off screen that VMware actually was installed, my bad on that. But I don't think I set the keybind. I don't know what grave means, which is the default keybind. Options, control. Let's find. I normally use the backslash key of all keys, mostly because of the fact that I couldn't find the grave key when I first used vein mine, and just needed a key that was out of the way. But that point's entirely moot now. Wow. I think it's one of the mods, but this oak tree is getting a lot faster, which is useful. I actually deliberately replant the trees every time. Thankfully, Minecraft trees grow incredibly quickly, so it's actually stupidly easy to practice more sustainable forestry, as long as you have the patience for the tree to drop saplings in the first place. That's really the annoying part of trying to do so. It usually takes forever for a tree to drop saplings. It sometimes won't drop any. It's actually why I generally keep an orchard. As long as I have even a single sapling, of any type, it can just keep the orchard going, rather than replacing every tree on the spot. And more importantly, I can easily if I really had to, I could easily just set up hoppers or something to collect the saplings. I'm not usually to that level of automation, but if I wanted to, I could. It's just more convenient to have an orchard. Since I've gotten a oh, I got another sapling. I am getting some saplings. This mountainside is actually kind of beautiful. I've actually been to places with this sort of curvature, I guess. Well, with this sort of slope, I guess is the proper way to describe it. I tend to preferentially take a flower that's next to another flower, since, well, if we're assuming that Minecraft works on the real world logic, which it doesn't, but assuming that the flowers just outcompete each other anyway. I'm pretty sure there's mobs down there. I don't have much that I would need to cook right now. But now if I want to, I should actually probably just craft a bed right now. Bam, 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 bam. Boom. White bed. Normally I don't use wood in building because of the fact that I dislike the fact that it's just used for aesthetics when there are a lot more practical materials, but I might use wood in building just because of the fact that the point of the series is really have a nice place and keep working on it. I want to find a clearing that's decently large, but it's still kind of on the mountain. Hey, here's that's where I get a little bit more stone. Now there is an island over there, or it's maybe just a peninsula or something. Can't tell from here. There is more land over there, but I'm probably not going to use it. It's a bit too steep, and there's not much potential to expand, at least not vertically. One thing I remember from the first time I ever played Minecraft, which was in It wasn't actually all that long ago. It was only a couple years ago, back when version 1.11.2 was the recent version. But the first world I ever played, I remember using a customized world and setting the war generation rate way up. And yet, despite this, it took me forever to find iron because of the fact that my shelter was a dugout in an extreme hill biome. So from experience, I know it's less likely for you to encounter caverns when you dig from higher. And yeah, it does seem to have been a peninsula, but that was just a river. Okay, the sun's about to set. We only need to pick a spot and start building there. If nothing else, I can skip the night. Now, it won't save my spawn point, but the fact that I now have a bed means that, with the exception of the small amount of creepers that will generate as night falls, building a temporary shelter and waiting at night is now not an issue. I can just skip it entirely. Like Malaberries. Oh, raspberry. This looks I don't know if wild raspberries look different, but this looks almost nothing like a raspberry. But okay. Here's another Actually, let's put food on the offhand. It's gonna be a lot worse. There's the beehive I saw before. I'm pretty sure I haven't played with the rustic mod before, but I'm pretty sure that the bees don't actually do all that much. You have wild berries from the rustic mod. Not sure bees are usable, but I mean that they don't damage you all that much, that they're not very strong mobs if you provoke them. But better be safe than sorry. I'm going to guess that they just damage you lightly and or poison you. I don't know why, but once. Okay, fruit. Kind of odd, but okay. It is really cute that they're doing that. Yeah, the sun's going straight down. It only really ever occurs to you how short Minecraft days are when you're trying to look for something. I'm gonna admit to it, I'm lost. Completely, totally, and utterly lost. I'm gonna use the bed as soon as possible. Just because, as I mentioned earlier, I do not want to have to deal with hostile mobs right now. That comes later. Since the aforementioned currently unused bonus chest is right here, that means this is where world spawn is. Even if I want to take the torches with me so they didn't lose them wherever I went, my inventory is full right now. I have to start building. And this seems to be a good clearing to do it in. I'm not sure if this is the same way I tried to pick earlier, but more specifically, there's not too much vegetation that I'd have to clear out. I don't like having to do that. A mess. Again, not all that much room to expand, but probably work best if I started right about here, I think. Now I got framework started. I don't think I'll use it. Now I got sort of framework started. Build a foundation, if you will. Well, not an actual foundation, but you get the point. I'm mostly just building up the structure first. I'll replace it with nicer blocks as time goes on. I think the difficulties. Okay, I forgot to say. I said the difficulty of peaceful when I would. As for because of the fact that there was a skeleton invisible that would, I think, in a cavern, because of the fact that there was this one spot that a bunch of wolves were just drawn to and they were mad at it, and the only thing that I can think that would cause that is I heard skeleton sounds from off screen. So I switched it to peaceful to get them away from that one spot. Okay, so we've got another free inventory slot. I really should get to planting the orchard, since that's going to be where I get most of my materials from. Actually, another's happening here. I think I planted it earlier or something. Oh, yikes. I lagged for a moment. Ironically enough, I have more of a very decorative block, the stairs, than you have any block that's practical for building. Well, except for wood. I kind of want to see if for when I actually had enough blocks to do something. Since this is pre 1.13, I don't have to worry about phantoms. But I do have to worry about other mobs. I'm literally cutting corners because of the fact that I need to get the front wall built. My intention is to take this shabby little shack and slowly but surely improve it. Doing it starting off as a shabby little shack, and the fact that I don't really have enough materials to build anything coherent yet. I have literally barely enough blocks to make that. And boom. And boom. Well, actually, I wanted to right there. Now I need no fewer than 6 dirt taken from the surrounding area, because I'm gonna put up a door. Now, as you can probably tell, the fact that this lacks a roof and there's only 2 block high walls when there's a 1 block high side means that it's not defensible at all whatsoever. You actually can spare block if I do what I normally do and place the crafting table into the wall. I normally place the crafting table into the walls both to save internal space and to reduce the amount of resources used to make the walls. So, boom. If I had more doors, I could spare these blocks and make this look slightly nicer. Even though I admit this looks abysmal, it's mostly built for form over function. And yet it fails at both. I'm not gonna lie about the wall of this bizarre triple door. Well, it's a bizarre triple door, at the very least allows me to have a few blocks left in reserve. Which consist of six cobblestone slabs, 1 furnace, which I'll probably be using in the wall as well, 2 olive wood planks, 8 cobblestone stairs, 3 dirt, and 1 cobblestone. But I'm going to fix this. And start making this look nicer, I'm gonna make it a bit more practical at the same time. But given the amount of time this is taking, I think that's best left for another episode. Although I will be crafting a chest as well, for obvious reasons. The reason I'm making it look worse is because I'm getting as much wood as I can so as to make. Well, I already have more than enough wood to make a chest, that was completely the point. It's best to use the least amount of wood I have the most of. That was completely true, but I think you get the point. Thankfully, I don't think it matters what type of wood you use for chest. Yeah, it doesn't. Boom. We've got a chest. Guessing that you can farm these somehow. There we go. It took 3 days, but we have a very bare bones structure. Let's have curiosity. Do the olive seeds hunger? No, they don't. They're just really. Oh, they give you nausea. I never liked eating olives anyway. One sapling. Just one. I'm gonna end it here. Signing off.